Hello, beautifuls. I'm back to do another review of Star Trek Lower Decks. OMG. Funniest episode. Let's get to the spoiler-free review. This episode was funny. It was hilarious. It was, really good, how you get to see with long-distance relationships. I'm telling you right now that this episode was one of those episodes where it was in your face type thing. It's where I don't know how to say it. I really don't. And it was a cute episode. Very cute and humorous where it's in your face. Sorry guys, but yeah. Very funny, very humorous, and overall, I say thumbs up for me. It was where you have the characters and stuff interacting and shit, and then you have everybody being right there in your face type humor. Some parts of it were for adults because it was very an adult type scene. And that's all I could say about the spoiler-free reviews because what can I say? It was very humorous. So let's get into this video. So the episode starts out with them, right? Going to meet this other ship. I forget the name of it. It's another class of ship. I'm forgetting the name already after I just watched the episode. So, this other Starfleet ship, it's not like the Cerritos, came because they were there to do something with a planet. You know, the moon was going to crash into the planet or something like that. Meanwhile, Boimler was excited because, his girl who serves on the ship was coming over and he was excited about it. And Mariner didn't know what to think of it. She thought she was a parasite. She thought, it was a very enticing episode. Enticing episode, to say the least. Very enticing episode. So, this might be short because, what can I say, it was hilarious. So, Boimler's trying to get with the girl and stuff, and then she's hanging out with this other guy and shit. Work-related. And it was, really humorous and fun. Funny, I tell you that. So, Captain Freeman was talking to these alien people to see what she could do, and they're like, don't destroy it, da 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 da, and this and this and that. And she pissed them off. Because they're like, oh, Starfleet, don't do this shit. Da 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 da. Humorous, I tell you, humorous. So, they're trying to figure out with the moon and stuff. Meanwhile, Tindy and Rutherford are there with the chief engineer or something. I'm not sure who it was. But he gave them T-88s, which were, really good and stuff, and they were, wanting T-88s. So, to get into the bread and butter of this, Tindy's like, everybody in space gonna be pleased with me, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was hilarious, I'd say that much. Meanwhile, on these platforms, Boimler was butt naked, and he's, expecting the girl to come in there, and him, doing the whoopee. I'm gonna say the whoopee instead of the S word, because, but the whoopee, and with the girl, and Mariner comes up and smacks him, and he bangs his head. And meanwhile, Mariner's fighting with this girl because beforehand she was taking samples, scanning her, saying that she's an alien, she's this, she's that, she's of Andorian, she's this, she's that, parasite. And meanwhile, all this time, Boimler had the parasite because they found that out when she came in and they had a fight. And then they talked about him and all that. And found out when they pulled him over that something was moving in the back of his head. So they took it out and it was a big parasite. And you can hear the parasite banging on the jar saying, "Let me out, let me out." Very funny indeed. Very hilarious. Very, very fucking hilarious. And that parasite was like, "Let me out, let me out, let me out." And found out that the hormones from that parasite was getting that girl into Boimler. And he had it this whole time. Almost this whole time. So the episode was like very humorous and about the planet and stuff, and found out that there was 2 people living on the moon, and Captain Freedom's like, okay, we're gonna beam everybody off the moon. There's only 2 people on the moon because they were very filthy rich, so they destroy the moon and blah blah blah. And it was like kind of like humorous going back when, you know, the uniforms that you wore in the end of DS9 and the Nemesis uniforms, you see them, you see Mariner like that. And I was laughing my head off when she was talking about the parasitic and they attack it and you get to see these Nemesis uniforms. That was a great comeback right there. I'm telling you right now, that was a great comeback. Like, really funny indeed. Very hilarious. Very hilarious. So she kind of in this episode was like in your face, you know, like very concerning for Boimler and all that. But in the end of the episode, we see Tindy and Rutherford working. And they steal the T-88s. Which was hilarious. And they found out the cover-up with this guy from the other ship. He wanted to transfer because he hated working on that ship. And he was recording it saying, "Yeah, you're going to get your court-martial." And he's like, no, please, please, please. Okay, I'll give you T-88. And they end up stealing T-88s. So, what I think, this episode reminded us a lot of, like, Nemesis, because they were talking about Data and his brother, which was a good reference to that, and the Enterprise, and all that. And a good reference to see the characters more interact with more starships. More this and more that. And what I'm thinking is that with this Lower Decks coming out to do this is like really good. So I'm excited to see the next episode. I'm really enjoying the show. Also, what gets me is that it was hilarious, like how this woman falls in love with Brad Boimler because of a parasite. And she walks out with the parasite, and the parasite's still saying, "Let me out." Like, parasites don't talk, do they? No. But that's the fun. You never know with parasites, because never know with Star Trek. So, my overall review of this episode is that it was hilarious because Mariner was trying to look out for her friend, which was, I think, very, very cute in a way, because she came out and was trying to help, you know, expose this woman, but yet they found out that she liked Brad because of this parasite, but we don't know, right? And obviously it's like, you get to see them interact with more characters, more stuff, more starships. And I'm sorry I forgot the name of the starship, even though I watched the episode, but yeah. This is my review of Season 1, Episode 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks. I hope you enjoy.